So I wanted to talk about how does he prepare for these feats, just like the one he had with Jake Paul. Now, I was reading in Hunt Fitness. I read a lot of things when I prepare these presentations. I want to know a whole lot about that individual, more than just what's on the surface. Reading in Hunt Fitness and going over some of the things that Mike has to do to prepare for these fights. And it's crazy. Do 2,500 sit-ups, 2,500 squats. Now, I can't really comprehend that. I can't even count to 2,500, let alone do something. 500 push-ups, 500 bench dips, and 500 barbell shrugs. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to comprehend that. You know, most of us, we can't even do 20 sit-ups. Okay, so if you're doing all of that, and I just can't comprehend that, done, I can't comprehend that. What are you eating to fuel you? And that's the main focus of this presentation. I'm going to, because I'm a dietitian, and I read that he takes in 3,000 or 4,000 calories, and so I'm saying, okay, really? I'm thinking he needs even more than that. Because Mike Tyson is 58 years old, he is 5 feet, 10 inches tall, and he weighs 220 pounds. And that's all I need to plug into this formula. Certain formulas that professionals do, so I plugged in the numbers. And I came up with 3,345 calories to about 3,684 calories. So we're in the ballpark, 3,000 to 4,000 calories. He starts his day off with oats, milk, and orange juice. Then later on in the day, he will have about 12 ounces of chicken. Now, let me just say, 12 ounces of chicken, that's 4 servings, because a serving is about 3 ounces. So he's having about 4 servings at one sitting. Then he has white rice, he has some vegetables, and he will have orange juice. Then later in the evening, you know, he'll have some snacks in between, but later in the evening, he's rounding it up with 12 ounces of a steak and some vegetables, some pasta. Interesting. Right before the fight, he has a chocolate bar and some orange juice. I get it. He's trying to get a sugar rush. Get the sugar rush, but then you're going to get that low because it doesn't stay in your system for as long as the fight is. I don't know if he's doing several of that throughout the fights or what. I don't know. Now, I also learned that at one point in Mike's life, he was a vegan. You know, so that's the purest of the vegetarians. A vegan is a strict herbivore, no animal products, and no dairy or dairy products. So that's milk, eggs, cottage cheese, ice cream, and anything that has milk or eggs in it. No. And he started to, for varying reasons, he started to transition back to eating meat. However, now his meat is wild game. So he does elk and bison. And when he wants to cheat, his cheat foods are ice cream and Cap'n Crunch. Cap'n Crunch. Mike has had some serious issues before the fight. Issues with ulcers. I'm not sure what other health issues that he was having at that time. I'll share with you, if you have ulcers, and Mike, if you're watching, that some foods that they tell you to avoid, and I want to share that with you. Definitely alcohol. Now, I do want to say that I did read that, you know, Mike had issues with alcohol, and he says himself, I have been a vicious alcoholic. Alcohol will give you calories, but there's no nutritive value in alcohol. unless you're mixing it with something. Now, if you're going to do a Bloody Mary and you're going to get some nutrition from the tomato juice, but or if you're going to mix orange juice in it, yes, but just straight Jack Daniels, there's really no nutritive value in that. But that's just one point. But the other is that, alcohol can damage your digestive tract. Another food that could be problematic for you if you're having ulcers or dealing with ulcers is milk. That Mike likes to drink milk. He drinks milk a lot. One of the things that he does that I meant to share with you is he'll do protein shakes. Some protein powder, and then he'll have that with milk and a banana. I bet that tastes good. That sounds like that would taste good. So he is consuming milk a lot. And a lot of athletes, because milk is a good source of protein, do a lot of milk. So it's reported that milk can stimulate you to secrete more stomach acid. Now, when you digest your food and food is in your stomach, you're going to secrete hydrochloric acid. That is what you're going to secrete. But we don't want you to secrete more than you have to, because that could be an issue. Now, in your stomach, you have a mucosal lining, and that protects your stomach. But when you are having too much secretion of this acid, that could possibly cause some issues. Because that mucosal lining is like having thick Vaseline that protects you. And so we want that protection, and we don't want to overwork it by having this extra secretion. Another problem food could be fatty foods. So now we know that he eats a lot of meat. We're talking several servings of meat, particularly red meat. He would get fatty foods from the meat that he's eating, and he would get fatty foods. I don't know if he does skim milk, because he could be doing skim milk, but if not, from ice cream. And that's one of his cheat foods. We know that meat can irritate the stomach and worsen symptoms, and red meat can take longer to digest, and it can increase your stomach acid levels. You go with lean meats or lean chicken and fish, or other alternative proteins like tofu or quinoa, beans, nuts, and things like that. Now there's not strong evidence, but a possible problem food could be citrus foods, and that would be oranges and lemons, limes, and grapefruit. What I'm getting ready to have after I do this filming. But because of the acid, now, it's a possibility that it could irritate, but you may note that. And if you note that when you're eating those citrus fruits and you might get a little irritation, then you may want to limit or avoid citrus fruits. I just wanted to share that with you. And I really, really admire Mike Tyson. He is hardworking. Anyone that could attempt that grueling schedule that he starts from 5 in the morning and throughout the day, he's doing these exercises. And it's a tight schedule that he follows. And it is, but he's tenacious about it. He's serious about it.
Day 3.
He's always looking and researching about boxing and watching other games and studying. So I wanted to take my hat off to him. And once again, I want to let you know that I like Mike. And I like that you're watching. Share me with your family and friends. I'm Das. I'm out, but I look forward to seeing you next show.